Alchemize your energy. Darling, let your spirit be free. Don't give up, keep on pushing through. Now is the time, it's all up to you. Alchemize your energy, my friend. Let your spirit be free. Don't give up, keep on pushing through. Now is the time, it's all up to you. No matter the storm, but over tragedy. No matter the storm, but over tragedy. No matter the storm, we will always take flight. Keep on pushing through the darkness of night. There's no limit, let's reach for the sky. Shine so bright, from darkness to light.
Welcome to Alchemizing Energy. Today we kind of entered the live earlier because you know what, I had my times mixed up, Central versus Eastern. So we agreed at 6 o'clock. It was 6 o'clock Eastern versus Standard. So now we're kind of in the middle of that, in between 6 Central and 6 Eastern. So let's get into it. Our next guest that we have on the show, Dynast Amir, full name Dynast Abefe Adewale Amir, is a dynamic, globe-trotting entrepreneur and philanthropist who has a passion for life and seeing the success of others. Dynast was born Albert Horton Hollis in Sacramento, Sacramento, California, but considers himself a displaced African who just happened to be born in America. He attended Christian Brothers High School in Sacramento, where he would star in track and football, earning first team parade and USA Today High School All-American honors in football. After graduating from Christian Brothers, he would then take his talents to the University of Georgia. He would letter in track and football and graduate with a degree in agricultural business. After a short stint in modeling and acting, he would then take his talents to corporate America. Dynast would finish in the top 10 in sales for 2 Fortune 500 company organizations, Aflac and Cintas. This culminated with him finishing number 1 in the entire sales organization at Cintas Corporation in 2014. In 2018, Dynast would leave corporate America to take his talents to Africa to focus full-time on implementing several much-needed initiatives geared toward improving infrastructure on many levels, as well as bridging the gap between the diaspora and Africa. Dynast also a published author, philanthropist, and currently serves as Omo Oba, Prince in Yoruba of Ororuwo, Nigeria, and encourages everyone to come and visit the Kingdom of Ororuwo. We don't grind. Grind means constant struggle. There's no need to grind when you are walking in the blessings of our life each and every day. And without further ado, I would love to bring to the stage and to the panel Prince Dynast Amir.
Hold on. How are you? Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, welcome to Alchemizing Energy. I found out about you almost like right when you were beginning the search for Uhuru, when you were, kind of like going out to different places in Africa and trying to understand about the different religious cultures out there, voodoo. And it seemed like you were really trying to break down the norms and what people really thought about African spirituality and things like that. Can you explain what was the thing that drove you toward that?
I would say wanting to set the record straight. I just, the question is always asked, or often asked, what did we practice before we came in contact with Europeans, or before we were Christian? Because Christianity, Islam is not indigenous to Africa. So we already had our own traditional spiritual systems, but for some reason, they were always demonized. So I said, you know what? I want to set the record straight and find out like what's the truth, or what's the the real deal behind these traditional systems. So I said the best way to do it is just to go to the source. So, you know, 2017, I went to Benin. I went to the Voodoo Festival. I met with the head voodoo chief across the world, Huna Dagbo. And then in 2018, I went to Nigeria and I went to the Oshun Festival to learn more about Ifa. So
Right. And you also went to like the Congo, right? Didn't you? Or
I haven't been to the Congo yet.
where was the one that you went to where they had the serious? Which the Dogon?
Oh, the Dogon. That's in Mali, correct. So I went to see the Dogon too.
Okay, I got
Yeah.
the Mali mixed up with the Congo. So
Mali, correct.
what was the reason why you decided to like what was the reason why you wanted to like so only focus on West Africa versus like the East Africa?
Well, I've been to East Africa. I've been to Tanzania. I've been to Kenya. It's just I was just drawn to West Africa because that's, I mean, being African American, like the majority of us, our roots come from West Africa. So I was just drawn to West Africa and exploring more. Even though the first country I ever been to in Africa was an East African country, Tanzania, but I was just drawn to go to West Africa more.
So what was the thing that you found most interesting when you actually did this? Like what was the thing that you were like, oh man, I'm surprised?
Well, I wasn't necessarily surprised because I already knew that the information that we're given by mainstream medium is when it comes to traditional African religion is all a lie. How they demonize it. So I already knew that. It's just I wanted to hear it from and get the information from the source because we rarely hear the source, you know, their story on the truth on these systems is always coming from like a third party who their intentions are always not pure. So I guess I mean, I really just wanted to get the information and share it with everyone. You know, get the information from the actual source instead of relying on third parties who, again, their intentions are not pure.
So when you went to Benin to find out about voodoo, now did you know prior about voodoo in Haiti and decided that Benin would be the place to go? How did you end up finding out about voodoo in Benin?
Well, I've always heard about voodoo. I didn't know much about it. What happened? I forgot. I stumbled upon a Google masquerades, and then the caption said the Voodoo Festival, and I said I gotta go. So that's how I ended up going to Benin Republic. Like that's what drew me to it was the Google masquerades. I love masquerades. If you know, here in my house, you know, I collect masquerade masks and traditional, uh, like African antiques and art. So I absolutely love masquerade. So when I saw the Google, I said I got to go see this for myself.
Did you have those masquerades before you actually went to Benin?
I've been collecting since I've been going since 2011. So I've been collecting masks and masquerades. But you know, when I saw the Google, that's the first time I actually saw the Google, and I was like, oh, okay, I gotta go check this out.
So what was the feeling when you actually went there? By the way, you guys, I am DJ Genesis Detroit, aka Alchemizing Energy. I'm actually a priest of Oya in the Ifa faith. I got initiated like 2 years ago through Cuba. I had the opportunity to go to Nigeria. However, financially, I just couldn't afford it. So what I decided to do was go through Cuba. Um,
Okay, can I ask a question? So you said you got initiated through Cuba.
yeah.
Uh, do you feel as if, because what I'm noticing in a lot of these Latin American countries, uh, would you say that the white Latinos pretty much control and dominate a lot of the African spirituality systems, and the black, black people in these countries or people of African descent have to kind of check in through them?
Honestly, no. Everybody that initiated, I was in the black part of town. It was all black. They would look like they were from Africa.
Oh, okay.
I mean, some people like they were from Ethiopia. I was like, what in the world? I mean, I didn't really know that much about Cuba but then, it's interesting because in their mind, they're like, we are the origin. It was crazy because they're like, no, we are the origin. So I don't know what is going on, but I know that there was some aspect of that in Cuba. When you look at the history of Cuba, you find like that people came a long time ago into Cuba before Columbus, and that there were like Muslim mosques and all type of stuff in Cuba. So I don't know whether these people were already in Cuba before the slave trade, but these people were black as tar. No, I shouldn't say that. They were black. You know what I'm saying? They were not light skinned Cubans at all.
Okay.
My Babalao, he, like I said, he was a tall, dark skinned black man.
Okay.
And so I think there's a difference. There's like a
because what I'm starting to notice, like in Brazil and Cuba and Puerto Rico, a lot of the white Latinos are serving somewhat as gatekeepers to African indigenous spirituality. That's why I asked that question. Because is this voodoo, Ifa, Santeria, so
I do see even in Isheshe, in Colombia, when I'm in Dallas, and so even the Babalao here is like a Mexican, but he got initiated into Isheshe in Colombia. So it's like, so I think that the people that were in those areas really held true to the tradition, and they tried to maintain it, the best way that they could. You understand? So, but I don't know whether or not people were already coming over here beforehand and were doing that, or were they the slaves? That's the part that I'm confused on.
No, it was definitely brought by slaves to these countries.
Okay, so it's interesting because when they're like, "No, this is the origin," I was like, "Really?" I was like, "What?" So that confused me.
There's no proof of that.
Right. So so yeah, I got initiated into Lukumi, not Isheshe.
Mm-hmm.
And so there are like some differences in how they do their initiations, and in Lukumi they give you all of the Orisha, like at least 9 of them, the main ones. Where in Isheshe they give you just the ones that you need, and I think they did it out of necessity or whatever. But yeah, so in my plight, I have been really trying to understand the connection. You know what I'm saying? Because you have like some people that are like Hebrew Israelites, you have some people that are Islam, and when they really break it down, a lot of times, you have people say, "Oh no, the Yoruba people came from
Mecca." No.
Mecca, or they came from Israel, or they were in a part of like Egypt and in the Nile Valley. So I have been very confused because even when I do interviews with Babalaos, there's different like historical stories that some people say, "Oh no, we were part of the Cushites and we migrated to Ila Ife." Some people say Ila Ife already existed. So I was like just trying to find out, like, in your travels, did you find out more information about certain things like that?
They're very specific that they came from Ila Ife. Very, very specific. Anything outside of that is it's not true.
Wow. So can you give me an example of things that you found out when you went to the Voodoo Festival that people probably would not know? A lot of times when you talk about voodoo, people think about it as witchcraft and craft work and things like that. Can you expound on some of the things you found?
One thing that stuck with me from my first trip was when Dogbo said that voodoo accepts everyone, but everyone doesn't accept voodoo. Voodoo accepts Muslims, accepts Christians, but Muslims and Christians don't accept voodoo. That's what he said. It was. I wish I don't have his exact quote what he said, but pretty much voodoo is it receives everyone, but the other religions, they make you choose.
It's the same thing in Ifa, right? When
Right.
you talk to a Babalao, they'll say that, what we accept, because a lot of them feel like that this came from antiquity. This came before.
Right.
That Ifa, voodoo, and all these different practices of tribal like religions came before Christianity and things like that. So can you expound somewhat on like the historical aspect that you found out when you were in these places?
Well, we already had our spiritual sisters before we came in contact with Islam and Christianity. You know, Islam and Christianity is relatively new, especially to West Africa. Like we already had our spiritual systems that predate, you know, the Quran and the Bible.
So what about like the Torah? Is there a connection? Because I know that you have some Igbo tribes that are that say that they are Hebrew Israelites, things like that, except
They're not.
they're not.
No.
Okay. Can you expound on it?
Igbo, that certain demographic of Igbos who claim to be Hebrews, they didn't start claiming to be Hebrews until around the Biafran War, because they felt like they were persecuted like Jews. But again, Igbos, they have their own spiritual traditional systems
Right.
that predate the Torah.
That predate the Torah. So would you say that in your travels around Africa, have you been to South Africa as well?
I have.
And have you like visited the Sangoma?
I didn't.
Okay. So I was just trying to understand, like, if you had a sense of oneness when you actually traveled throughout Africa, of similarity in tribal traditions.
Absolutely. I mean, they're very similar. All of them are. They're related. The you know, African indigenous spiritual systems. So you do sense that oneness.
So what about like Native American or South American traditions? Do you find a tie to that as well?
I don't know much about Native American and South American traditions, so I couldn't answer that.
Okay, I thought I saw a thing where you went to like Mexico and
No. I mean, only time I've been to Mexico is work trip. Well, work celebration trips, and I just partied.
so you didn't like do action. Okay, because I was
No.
really trying to really see if there was a tie.
No.
So what are the similarities when you found when you went to like these African places? What was the similar practices?
Ancestor veneration is similar. Um, you know, we all have our own specific creation stories, origination stories. But really, you know, the ancestor veneration, which is similar throughout African spirituality, versus when you look at Abrahamic religions, that's kind of viewed as devil worship or evil.
Right. What about divination? Do you find that you find
Divinations as well. You know, that's common in a lot of the African spirituality systems as well.
did you kind of like delve deep into why those systems exist, or like even how important those systems are within those communities?
Well, it's we look at it as religion, but it's with when you're dealing with African spirituality, it's a lifestyle. Like it's not separate from the culture of the community. Like it's all inclusive. It didn't start becoming separate until the introduction of Abrahamic religion. So it's a way of life. It's a part of life. It's a lifestyle.
Right. So
Everything. Yeah, like I said, it didn't become separate until the introduction of Abrahamic religions, but it's a lifestyle. And even say you convert to Abrahamic religion, whether it be Christianity, Islam, or Judaism, like the tradition, the lifestyle is so much part of the culture that you really can't avoid it.
when I went to South Africa, because I've been to Cape Town, and I would go to the township, and
Wait, one second. Let me turn off this light in my living room, because the reflection. Give me 10 seconds. We'll continue.
Okay. When I went to South Africa, what I noticed is that even in the township, even though this is like a colonized place, it's they went through apartheid with the whole thing. When you go into the townships, you'll see some boomers just kind of just sitting in the middle of the road, And then I guess that if you wanted to go see the Sangoma, they're sitting right there. They're like in the middle of the street. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why they were in the middle of the street, but they would be like sitting right there. Is it the same in other countries where like you go throughout Africa where the priests are kind of like just sitting there, like because the Sangomas, they look kind of scary. They'll have like their faces all in white and they're just sitting there dressed in like traditional garb and they're just waiting for someone to come up, depending on the situation.
I wouldn't necessarily say the Chiefs are just randomly sitting around, just waiting for people to come up. So that hasn't been my experience.
So that might be just a specific thing to South Africa where that.
Yeah. Whenever I'm in, Ouida or Benin or Nigeria, you just don't see chiefs randomly or spirit or babalaos or voodoo practitioners just or Nifas just sitting around just waiting for people. I haven't. Yeah, in public on a street corner. Yeah, I haven't seen.
That was how it was. I was in the Longa Township, and you would. I mean, we'd be walking, and then there would be a person just with a white face, dressed up and sitting there, and I don't know, like they'd be sitting up, I guess waiting. I don't know. It was really interesting, and
Yeah,
like in different parts, like waiting. I'm like, what are they waiting? What is going on? It was interesting, and I said, well, what are they for? It's like, well, if you have a problem, you go to them or whatever. That's what the guy would tell me. I don't know if he was telling me the truth or not, but
yeah, I haven't experienced that.
the spiritual aspect of it in South Africa is very ingrained into the society. Even when I was there, I saw some people like let me tell you how funny South Africans are. They are jokesters. They'll say first thing that if you're American, they'll say, well, we can't understand English. And it's like, dude, you just said that in English. But anyways, I saw like some people, they had like machine guns and machetes. They were marching down the street and they were like, they're coming to get you. And I'm like, what? But no, they were doing like a rites of passage or something like that. That was just a part of what they were doing. But they have really funny senses of humor, like to scare me or whatever. But because they probably thought that they felt that I was kind of scared being in a new place. But do you see when you go to other parts of the country how like those practices like of like are kind of out in the open, or are they more closed off in West Africa and East Africa?
I would say it really depends. Like in Nigeria, there's always a festival going on. Like it's a festival always going on. When I'm in Yoruba land, like there's always a festival or ritual going on. Same thing with when I'm in Benin. Once you're like around Ouida, there's always a festival going on. So I guess yes. I mean, there are festivals that are accessible and rituals that are accessible to the public, if that's what you're asking, that can where one could go and see.
Right. So when you go there, like to certain areas, you don't really see like a lot of you know, I would say like this: whenever the white people would come and go to these villages, right? They'd be doing all this different type of stuff, and and they would get it on film, maybe a documentary about it. Do you think it's changed since back in the 80s when they were going into these places in the villages and seeing like these tribes like doing their normal thing, or is it more cityfied now, or is it different?
It just depends where you're at. Of course, if you're in a more of a metropolitan setting, it's harder to access a lot of these festivals or rituals. But when you're in the village or the bush or countryside, it's common to see it.
So, what would you say is like the most important thing to know when you're traveling to Africa, and like even from a spiritual standpoint, or even from an individual standpoint? What do you think people should be prepared for?
You're not in America. You're in Africa. Keep it simple.
Can you expound a little bit upon that? Like,
I mean, certain like luxuries. I mean, you might be inconvenienced. Like you're not in America. I mean, you're in Africa, so you just have to be a little more patient. Things move a little bit slower. Um, have an open mind. Just you're not in America.
so I heard like even time, is different how people view time. In America,
Right. Things move a little bit slower. Like if you're at a restaurant, here in America, we're used to getting our food in 15 minutes. Over there, you might wait 45 minutes to an hour, depending what you order or where you're at. Like I said, just you're not in America. You just got to be patient.
do you feel like Americans get treated differently in Africa when they come there? Like, do they know, okay, you're from America, and let me try to like get the bit more out of you, or what?
Yeah, but that's why you negotiate and barter. Everything's negotiable in Africa. It isn't like here in America where, like, when you're at the market, you negotiate. Here we're used to the price being the price. Over there it's everything's negotiable.
So explain how that negotiation works. So you go into the market and say that someone says the apple is like $10. Would you say, well, no, I'll give you 5 for it? Like, how does it work?
Yeah. Whatever. If you're at the market, whatever price they give me, I mark it off 75%. They'll go from there.
75%?
Yeah.
That's how high they mark up if they see you coming.
75% and go from there. They start negotiating from there.
Wow. So would you say that that when it comes down to moving to Africa, there's been like this whole thing where Ghana opened up and had to return, and I think that you were doing tours and things like that. A part of that, people moved over there. They began to complain about how they were treated, this, that, the other. What do you think is the thing about that?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's experience is different. When I go to Africa, I don't wear rose-colored shades. Um, I do to a point. At the same time, I realize that I'm in a developing country. Um, and like I said, you're not in America, but you are in a developing country. So, certain inconveniences and hustles and all that, you just gotta just be on your P's and Q's.
Wow. So what are like some hustles you should look out for when you go to Africa?
But just overcharging. That's why it's always good to have a local with you when you move around. If it's like your first time traveling to African country, like try to have a local person who knows the area move around with you so they can negotiate for you.
So in your searching for Uhuru, I think that, like I said, you actually went into Mali and talked to the Dogon. When it comes down to technology, even our spiritual systems were very like seemed like they were technologically advanced. Was there anything that you found like technology wise that it was like, dude, this is like, man, this is hidden, but people like we're like the Wakanda, but there's like a hidden Wakanda.
Our technology was our spiritual system, but that's about it. But I haven't seen any like anything that's I would say tangible like a iPhone or anything like that. No, it's just our technology was more on the spiritual side.
But I know they have like new cars and stuff like that that came out in Africa, like an African car, like I think in Nigeria.
No, well, like the Innocent and yeah, I mean they're just cars, no different from a Chevy or a Ford. It's just cars.
Okay. So when it really comes down to culture, when you now we have like this whole FBA movement, and we had like the Pan African movement that happened. Um, do you feel what is happening with the FBA movement? Do you think that's good or bad when it comes? Do you think Pan Africanism is now dead because of that, or what do you feel about that?
No, I mean it's not for everybody. I mean Pan Africanism isn't for everybody. You want to be FBA, be FBA. You want to be ADOS, be ADOS. Whatever works for you. I don't see it as a threat at all.
When you went to like Africa, did you feel like people like embraced you from America as a Pan African? Well, would you consider yourself, before I even ask that question, would you consider yourself still a Pan Africanist, like a diaspora,
Like a who?
like a Pan African diaspora, kind of like trying to bring everybody together, and
Absolutely. Absolutely.
why is that important?
I think uniting, and because I mean we all have. Well, I mean, for starters, when it comes to Pan Africanism, I want the best for African people globally. That's what I want, and that's important. You know, I don't hate on my brother, my fellow brother and sister. You know, we can agree to disagree. We're not going to agree on everything. As long as you're a righteous person and contributing to the betterment of humanity, let's work together.
So, how do you feel about the FBA movement and how they see things? Do you think it's like good, like wrong to create this divide?
I can't hear you. You're going out.
No, I'm sorry. Do you think that it's wrong that there's like this divide being created? And when I do see a lot of people getting on those panels, a lot of them are from East Africa, like the Sudan and things like that. Have you been to the Sudan?
I've not been to the Sudan though.
Okay. Did you find a difference between how East Africans embrace us versus West Africans?
No, I was embraced by East Africa as well. Yeah, I didn't notice a major difference. It's just I resonate more with West Africa.
So, what do you think moving forward when it comes down to Pan Africanism and with this new FBA movement we need to do? Because, you know, they're trying to say that Pan Africanism is dead.
They're entitled to their opinion. I wouldn't pay much attention to it. You know, if they want to be ADOS FBA, let them be ADOS FBA. You know, I mean, they're not getting in our way, so I wouldn't pay any attention to it.
Good point. What do you think would be a good reason that African Americans should possibly go to Africa and, you know, maybe get like dual citizenship or, you know, like start to like invest into Africa?
It's your birthright. It's the root. That's where we're from. But if you choose not to, then hey, more power. You know, if you choose not to, and if you're fine and comfortable here in America, hey, I'm not mad.
So, do you feel like there needs to be more of a unity when it comes down to, or more information put out there about like coming over to Africa and how to like set up shop the correct way and without all the like, because you have like the O'Shea Duke Jacksons, you have like, you know, people like you that are really in this movement. You have like the Ashrock Kwesi that are like doing doing trips over to Africa. Um, do you feel like those things need to even grow more, or should it be like, no, let's just keep it a small group of people?
No. It should grow more. People who have information and can act and serve as a resource to our people as far as reconnecting to Africa. Yeah, I mean, we need as many people as many hands on deck as possible.
So how do we like get involved? How do we like help you to do what you're trying to do to bring this thing more to light and bring more people over there that could even help out with the communities that are growing over there, like when it comes to stuff like that?
I would say something as simple as sharing the information. You know, if you know people who have questions, who have concerns, who want more information, share the information. That's the start.
But what would you feel like would be something that's needed for the people that are over there? So say, all right, so you have people that are over there and then you have people that are over here.
Mm-hmm.
Are there certain things that, you know, hey, we need more software engineers, we need more doctors, we need more people like that to come over and help out the communities and bring things into Africa that can help them? More electrical engineers with lights being on and off, like, you know what I'm saying, like things like that, electricity kind of like being at a...
Well, I think whatever skill that you have, it can be useful on the continent depending on the skill. But at the same time, I wouldn't underestimate the ingenuity of Africans in Africa. I mean, there's a lot of intelligent, very high class, very smart Africans on the continent. Like I keep saying this. We need Africa more than Africa needs us.
Wow. And see that, you know, and that's a good frame.
There's a lot of intelligent Africans on the continent. I mean, the skills you mentioned, they're already there.
Right. So there might be a misunderstanding, when it really comes down to how.
Yeah, I no longer I no longer, but outside of maybe the medical field, I no longer buy into this African brain drain. I don't buy into it because it's just when I'm over on a continent, I meet some sharp brothers and sisters on the continent. Like I said, I'm no longer like I just no longer buy into this brain drain. Like I don't.
What do you mean brain drain by that?
Well, they're saying like all the talent in Africa is leaving Africa and is coming to the West. I think there's still a lot of talent on the continent, a lot of ingenuity on the continent.
So when you were there, did you see like the whole Chinese influx, and what did you think about that? If you did see it?
Yeah, I mean, there's Chinese in Africa who have contracts with the government that are doing infrastructure projects. I mean, there are.
What do you think about it? Like, do you feel like that they're treating people the wrong way, or is everything
I
cool?
mean, there have been examples of Chinese mistreating the locals,
Okay.
but I wouldn't say that's the norm. Chinese are there handling business.
So someone says I'm talking like a white woman from the 1800s. What I'm doing is I'm trying to clear up misconceptions when it comes down to Africa. That's not so. I'm not trying to be condescending. I'm trying to clear up what people might think about Africa. I'm a person that practices African spirituality. Of course, I believe that African is very. I mean, just the spirituality alone of Africa, what I'm saying, would show you that these are very intelligent individuals. And then the fact that they are where we come from, you know, I think that there's like a big misconception about how intelligent we are, what I'm saying? And our spiritual practice speaks of that. Right. So it comes down to let's get into relationships, right? So do you feel like when it really gets down to, you have these things called the passport bros,
Hmm. Yeah, passport sisters too.
right? Even worse, right? Because you have like the Caucasian people that are going into Mali and Kenya and getting with the what are they called?
The local men. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Ghana, Gambia, all over Nigeria.
right. So what do you think about that whole movement of women going over there and kind of like doing that?
I mean, if it's if it's between two consenting adults, go for it.
So let's get into your some of the things that you're doing. So you have trips that you do over to different parts of Africa. What are you doing? What's the next coming up trip that you have?
I'm taking a group to Sierra Leone. It's already November, end of this month. So November 25th to December 6th, we're going to Sierra Leone. So looking forward to that.
All right. So here's the thing. When you went to because you've been to Sierra Leone before, is that used to be a American? Well, that's Liberia. Didn't Sierra Leone also used to be an American colony? No, it was
Yeah,
Liberia.
it was a British colony, and Liberia was never an American colony.
It never was.
No.
So where do you think they got that whole thing from?
Uh, Misinformation. America never claimed Liberia as a colony, and vice versa.
So can you give us some of the misunderstandings that people have about Africa that are well known in America, and just did some of those things that exist?
I don't agree with the brain drain um, narrative. I don't buy that at all. No longer buy that at all. What's I said? The one Dynast. Okay, I was reading some of the comments. I don't buy into the brain drain narrative. Um, I don't buy into the dark continent narrative. No, there's not leopards and lions running around in the streets. um, the people are friendly. Is Africa perfect? No, but I have way more wins and I have way more W's than I do L's in Africa. And if Africa was that bad, my first trip would have been my last.
Well, the main thing I also want to like talk about is the misconceptions about the fact that people are fleeing. What do you think about that?
I mean, it's such a small percentage, but they're just looking for opportunities, which, that's their right. That's the right. I mean, they want to come to America. They want to go to Europe. If that's what they want to do, go for it. Now, I think the legal route is the best route, but I wouldn't necessarily say they're fleeing because it's such a small demographic of Africans who are leaving the continent. And when I'm in Africa, no matter where I'm at, which country, the majority of Africans I speak to have no desire to leave.
And what do you think of this whole tether thing, calling people tethers, and they're trying to tether off of us and all that stuff?
Tether how?
Like take the like we did all this stuff, and now you're coming over here and trying to get like something from what we created and all this other stuff. Like
what did we create?
I guess
I mean, the majority of
I don't agree with it. So that's
the majority of immigrants who come to America, they work for themselves or they get jobs with working for non-Black American corporations and businesses. So I don't know what they're taking.
That's why I wanted to talk about it. It's like so. And here's another thing: is that so to say that a person's a tether because they're coming from another country and they feel like they're benefiting off of what we are, like our welfare system. And most people I know that are from Africa are not in welfare or nothing like that. They go to school. They get a trade or whatever it is, and then and they support their family up that way. They're not tethering off of us from a hip hop level, from a whatever level, any of that. So
right,
and then you
as long as they're coming the legal route, that's fine. I don't have.
Even if they don't come in the legal route, who cares? To me, it's like there was a whole influx of Chinese people that came into America through the non-legal route, and ain't nobody called them tethers.
I think I would say that. I think the tether, calling someone a tether is coming from, because you look at the Chinese, when you look at other groups of immigrants, their home countries are in much better positions, in a much better position than a lot of the countries that the so-called tether comes from. So I think that's where that term comes from, somewhat.
Right. So you think that
so where I stand on immigration is come, learn the skills, go back. Hold on, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Come, learn the skills, go back and develop your country. So if you notice with China, Chinese, they came over and they took those skills, and look at China now. I think with the reason why, FBA and ADOS, why they kind of come up with this tether term is because, okay, you're coming over, but are those skills transferring to the development of the countries that you're coming from?
Okay, you're right. So you're fleeing your country and you're
not. Well, we don't want to say flee. I don't want to say flee.
Okay.
They're just in search for opportunities here in the West, which I listen, come. I have no problem with that. I say legally because, we have an issue right now where you have a group of illegal immigrants who are getting debit cards, right? And they're getting, I would say, welfare. And I mean, they're not documented immigrants. Mm-hmm. And the reason why I say that is because you won't be able to do the same if it was the other way around.
Right.
So They don't play that. You know, crossing borders illegally in a lot of these African countries, you know, they don't. If you get caught, you could get in trouble. You could get arrested.
Right.
You know what I mean? You could get deported. It's happened. So that's why I'm like, it goes both ways. So I get it where they're coming from. But again, in Booker T. Washington, he had the Tuskegee initiative, or the Tuskegee method, where he would bring African immigrants to Tuskegee to develop skills and learn trades on the basis that they would go back and develop their countries. And I mean, I agree with that. But if you're an immigrant, you come to America, you get your green card, you become a citizen, you're like, hey, listen, I ain't going back. That's your right. And I'm not mad. And I'm not going to sit here and shame you and remind you that, you know, if it wasn't for us Black Americans, you wouldn't be able to come over here. I'm not going to do that. You know, again, if you come over, you develop the skills, you say, you know what, I'm staying, I'm casting my net right here in America. I'm not going back to my home country. I'm going to stay here in America. Hey, that is your right. And I'm not going to guilt you and remind you every 10 minutes how Black Americans built this. And if it wasn't for us, you wouldn't be able to come over here. That's where I disagree with FBA ADOS. Like, I mean, it really doesn't matter. There's nothing you can do about it. You know, okay. Black Americans, you know, through free slave labor, rebuilt the foundation of this country. But you don't control who could come in to this country, you know.
Right.
So, you know, that's where I disagree.
Right. And so this guy says, Jibs 826 says, tether comes from people outside the country talking about blacks in a negative way. They talk about the FBA culture, and their own people back home aren't even in the same positions FBAs are, in my opinion. And then I think Aunt Nan was saying that, he said some messed up stuff. So he says that I keep saying I don't agree with FBAs, but keep parroting them. Well, this is the thing that's going on right now. It's affecting the election. You know what I'm saying? The FBA movement is like, you know, doing this whole thing, and you know, every night every day there's like an argument going on. So I'm just trying to bring it into the current frame. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, I don't agree with one group of people acting like, you know, creating like a thing that sounds like nigger and saying tether. You know what I'm saying? It's too close to. It's about 3 words away from saying the same thing, and we sound like just as racist as the people that we're. You know, I don't know. So I don't like that word, because we create like a word to like go be down against someone else, and that's not right. You know, so that's what I'm saying. So are you African, or like a FBA, or African American 100%?
I would say by definition, I would be considered FBA ADOS by their definition. Yes.
So what would you say is your lineage? Like, or would you consider yourself?
I'm by their definition, I would be considered FBA ADOS, but I'm Africa first.
Do you feel like you're part Native American, or do you feel
No,
like
I don't claim to be Native American. I'm descended of enslaved Africans that came over via the slave trade from West Africa, specifically Nigeria, Sierra Leone, and Guinea-Bissau.
Do you believe that Africans were here before the slave trade?
Yes and no. I would say they were. It's a few in between that we would have been absorbed by the natives, and you know, it's again, we would have been absorbed by the natives, so we would have been, I would say, genetically somewhat wiped out. So yeah, I mean, yes and no. I mean, I've heard the stories of Abu Bukari, you know, who was a king in Mali who sailed west and allegedly ended up in America. There's no scientific proof of that. But like I said, I'm not going to deny it, but it's so far in between that, you know, being of African descent, claiming to be an indigenous Native American is laughable.
So, do you believe that there were towns that were already built up when Columbus came that looked like mosques and stuff like that? That they already had like buildings and this, that, the other in America when he came?
Well, yeah, I mean, you had the Aztecs, you had the Incas, so you do have Native Indigenous American empires that were here before Christopher Columbus came. So there was some type of infrastructure depending on which part of America you were in and the Americas you were in. So yes.
So this guy says, "Wasn't no African here? Let's use their logic. Where are the ships?"
Yeah, like I said, if there were Africans here, so far in between, and again, there's no archaeological or proof that there were Africans here before the slave trade. It's just nothing is here that could prove it.
So,
But I wouldn't deny it or be shocked if there were. But again, it's so far in between that it's not even worth claiming.
so what do you think about the Hebrew Israelites when they say that they were first in Israel, then they migrated over to West Africa and then over to America, and that Puerto Ricans, Haitians, and all the Caribbean people were Hebrew Israelites that came from Israel into to America from West Africa?
I think it's all pseudo, but more power to them. But I think it's all pseudo.
So can you go deeper into it? Well, why?
I think the reason why a number of Black people claim America and Israel is because America and Israel are two of the most powerful countries in the world, and they would attach themselves to that power. That's my that's how I feel about it. So
So
it's just a way to attach themselves to Israel, which is again one of the most powerful countries in the world, and so we were the original Israelis or Hebrews or whatever. That's where that narrative comes from, if you ask me.
So, what about the connection to Egypt? Some people say that we are from ancient Cushites empire, and we were Kemetic and things like that. What do you feel about that narrative?
We're completely different people. Um, when I'm traveling throughout West Africa, no, whether it be the Yoruba, Fon, Ashanti, none of them are claiming Kemet. So there were say we did migrate from Kush. Nobody's claiming that.
So, why is she asking all these dumb questions? I'm asking these questions, and they're dumb. There's no such thing as a dumb question because the narrative exists. And I'm just trying to like get an idea from a person who actually traveled to Africa and spoke to people in Africa what he found out when he was in Africa. That's how I feel. I mean, do you feel like I'm asking stupid questions?
No, ask away, please. I ask away. Ask
So
anything.
when you went to Africa, did you find any people that were in Africa that said that they were from Egypt or from the Hebrew Israelite tribe, or what
No,
was?
the only people for the most part who claiming to be Egyptians and Hebrews are Black Americans here in America.
So when you went over to Africa and you asked people, did you talk to Igbo?
The only I had one conversation with a Dogon who alluded to being in Egypt, but then who alluded to being in Egypt. I did have that one conversation with a Dogon who alluded to being in Egypt, but for the most part, they're Dogon from Mali.
So let's get back into the Yoruba and the Yoruba understanding of like life and things like that. Ile Ife.
Mhm.
So you are a prince, a Yoruban prince. How did that come to be?
So I have roots in Ororuwo, which is a kingdom in Nigeria. Kabiyesi said, we left, my family left as royalty, and me standing in representation of my family, I'm returning as royalty. So I have my coronation and became a prince. I was coronated as a prince.
So how was that ceremony? Like, was it in Africa or was it in like?
Yeah, it's online. I have a video of it. It was at the palace.
So are you aware about the South Carolina Oba that like?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, rest in peace. I know he was murdered by his sister. Goodness.
Yeah, that was terrible, right?
Yeah. Oh God.
So, are you aware of like the kings being made in America, and do you know anything about how that?
Well, the one that's really the one that's recognized. You say you're speaking on. We're still staying on Yoruba, right? When you said kings being made in America, we're speaking
Yeah,
on Yoruba,
the
correct?
king, because there's so from Kabiesi in South Carolina, there are more kings being made in America.
Well, the only one that I know that's recognized here in America is the one in South Carolina that is recognized. That I could be wrong. I don't want to step on any toes. I don't want to offend anybody. I don't want to anybody say Dynast don't know what he's talking about. He don't know. He don't know. I know that the village in South Carolina is recognized by the Uni of Ife in Ili Ife. So that the village in South Carolina is recognized. That Kabiesi is recognized. That's the only one I know. But there could be more. I could be wrong, but I know for a fact that the one in South. Well, I think it's called Oatuji Village. Is that what it's
Yeah,
called?
Oyatunji village. Yeah.
Right. I know they are definitely recognized in Yoruba land.
So, what does it take? What do you think it takes to be recognized in Yoruba land? How do you know how the structure is, like how it works?
Well, it's all through what's the word I want to use? It's all through bloodline. And help me out, guys.
Ancestry.
Ancestry, genetics, bloodline. What's the word? Come on, help me out. Somebody in the chat will help me out. Lineage.
Oh, right. So if you go through the right lineage, okay.
Right. That's how. Thank
Like
you, lineage. Right.
the reading comes around, it says that person is an Oba, then
Right.
they'll be able to then set up their thing. So,
But even then, outside of that, before even with lineage being said, you still have to have a divination, and for that individual to be approved to still sit
move
on.
forward, right.
Right.
So, how important is divination and why?
There's a book I'm reading right here called Flash of the Spirit. There's some other books that I read. I mean, basically divination, it gives you clues and tells you how to move forward. So it's very important.
Now that you become a prince, can you divine for yourself, or do you have to have a Baba?
No. I'm not a Babalawo.
So only Babalaos do divination?
Well, Iyanifas, Babalaos, voodoo practitioners, yeah, everyone can't do a divination. No, I'm not.
Can
No.
you explain the importance of the Babalao, the Iyanifa, and the divination aspect in the culture?
Well, I mean, these are the people when you have a right one and a thorough one, because there's a lot of false and fake Influgazi, Babalawo, Yanifas running around. So you have to make sure you have, if you're in contact with a Yanifa or a Babalawo, they're a real Yanifa Babalawo. Yeah, but they're like almost the foundation of the culture. And so you go to consult with divination. I mean, they're very important.
So now that Isheshe has become really popular in America, they have this thing called Lukumi Sheshe, where people have been combining Lukumi with Isheshe and the different practices. Are you aware of that?
I don't know much about it. I'm more Ifa and Voodoo. I don't even when it comes to Santeria, Lukumi. I don't know much about them. Hoodoo. I'm not really up on it.
Right. So what's happening is when it came over to America, there was a very huge Lukumi, influence because of the fact that the closeness of Cuba to America, and people like Desi Arnaz and people like that brought over Lukumi to America.
Okay.
And so therefore, then Isheshe was brought over, and I'm not sure who brought Isheshe over. And so now what's happening is they're kind of combining the practice.
Well, it's all brought over by via the slave trade.
Isheshe was brought to America.
Yeah. How else did it get here?
I thought that it came to the Caribbean and then went to America. So there were
Well,
actually.
yeah. Well, it all came to the West, the Americas, via the slave trade.
Okay, I was like, there was Babalaos in America. Okay, never mind. So, all right, so that's what happened is that they brought that, and then there were African Isheshe people that came over, and then that's where you get like the clarity of Isheshe versus Lukumi. So, when you
But also, the slave ships also came directly to America as well. They just didn't stop in the Caribbean in South America.
they didn't, so that's a thing to understand. So when the slaves came over, there were some that came directly to America because I've always thought that they came.
No. They came. There's. I mean, you have ports here in Savannah, Charleston, South Carolina, Savannah, Georgia, Virginia. You had the last slave ship to come to America, Mobile, Alabama, Africatown, and they were Yoruba. So yeah, the slave ships just didn't stop. They just didn't. They came directly to America from Africa.
I mean, I'm asking these questions because like there is a misconception. I'm not. People are like, why are you asking these questions?
Cujo Lewis, Clotilda. If you guys study the story of Clotilda and Cujo Lewis, who was a Yoruba man who was sold into slavery by Dahomey, Clotilda was the last slave ship to come to America, and it came directly from Dahomey to Mobile, Alabama.
See, so here's the thing. So people are like, "Why you asking stupid questions? Why you asking?" I'm like, listen. So we have like documentaries that talk about the slave trade, but the way they make it seem like, even with 1804 with Tariq Nasheed, the way it makes it seem like is all the slave ships went to the Caribbean and then they got their slaves and then they shipped them over to America, not so much direct from Africa. When you talk about like the actual like traditions of Africa, and you talk about like the fact that there could have been Babalao and people that came over to America. The way that the narrative is that it all came from the Caribbean, and that's even why.
No, well, some came from the Caribbean, but then many also came directly from Africa to what would be considered the United States of America.
And I mainly want to clear that up for people that just don't know, because even as I'm learning more about like, because I used to be a Christian, so I'm just now like really getting into like the understanding about like Africa and where our religions and all that stuff like that were. So this is actually a learning lesson for me as well, so that's why I'm asking this question.
Mm-hmm.
So, what else? So let's get into Iyanifa and Babalawo. How important when it really comes down to society and the king and how things were laid out? How important were these priests?
No, it's who divined for you. So when it comes to one who wants to chart their own path, and as far as seeking guidance, is who you went to. So it's very important.
What about the Olorisha in the community? What was their what did they actually do within the community of the kingdom?
Well, the Orishas, I mean, those are gods. So I mean, but you still needed the Babalawo and the Iyanifas. If you wanted to get initiated, you had to go to the Babalawo and Iyanifas. So I mean,
right. So you have like the smaller priests, like the Olorishas. So let me give you an example. When I actually have done more research, I'm finding out that in African society, it was called the microcosm versus the macrocosm. So the universe itself was laid out how they would actually lay out their cities in Africa, right? You would have the king in the center. You'd have like the Oya or the different. So you would have like different aspects of the people, either Orishas that actually when they were crowned, they have a certain function within the community. You have your Osayin, who was like the medical practitioner. So it was like pretty much a community of priests. You understand what I'm saying? Are you aware of that?
I'm aware.
Can you expound upon how that structure was?
I wouldn't know much about the structure.
Okay.
To really expound on it.
Right. Okay. So, um, basically, what it was is that okay. So the Orisha not only break down into like just nature itself. They break down into colors. They break down into sounds. They break down into human body functions. Actually, like your actual organs. Same thing with Odu. Same thing with all the different aspects of Yoruba religion. It does not only like just say talk about the universe, but the human being itself. And it's the same thing in Taoism. Are you aware of that?
I'm not familiar with Taoism.
Well, Taoism. So when you talk about a holistic system, right? The
Mhm.
closest thing that the Yoruba with which is Isheshe has that would be like similar would be Taoism. Where the actual, like I said, the macrocosm goes down all the way into the community, into the individual. So that's how deep this religion was. And then when you break it down, and when the Babalawo is doing the divination, is breaking down into a binary code that could tell you and breaks it, basically almost do an MRI scan of your body and tell you what's wrong with you, from a mental standpoint, a physical standpoint, all together. You know what I'm saying? And these were the doctors of the community. There were when we didn't have hospitals. These were our doctors. So yeah, that's what I was like. So um that's what I was really breaking down and really understanding. Like even all tribal religions have a similar thing. They have those priests that were the doctors. They called them witch doctors when the white man came and saw what we were doing, and said that we were savages. But in reality, these people were very knowledgeable in understanding like the fauna, herbs, all these things, and being able to heal people. Yep. Um, so what is the next move for Prince Dynast Amir? What do you have coming up? I know you have several books that you have printed. Can we go into the books that you have done so far?
Yeah, so I've written a sales book, Sales Motivation 101, Get Off Your Ass a Cold Call. And I've written several children's books. They're all available on Amazon. Search my name, Dynast Amir, they'll come up.
So I'm gonna like show that real quick. I want to share that with everybody to make sure that they check out your so you can like you if you got Kindle, they're free. So that's awesome. Hold on, let's show you. So these are the books that Prince Dynast Amir has out. Amina's Third Eye, a children's story on manifestation through meditation. Uh, then we have It's Libation Time, a children's guide to the ancestors. We have The Sun Loves Me. Kinky Hair is Queenly Hair. And if you guys have any children, please support, his books. Then he had Sales Motivation. So, he has a lot of like different aspects. So right here he has Ancient Dogon Wisdom Life Lessons, and they're free on Kindle. That's one good thing. You know what I'm saying? If you it's free. So to get this information, he's not charging people for it. Some things it's like a little small fee, but please support what he's doing, because even broke down the story of a great friendship, House of Folklore. I think you did that with someone else. It was a combination book that you guys did 4 years ago.
So, what book?
The story of the great friendship, House of Folklore.
Right. So some books I did addendums to them, which are
Oh,
allowed. So that's Milan Shahil. That's the original author.
oh, okay. So you just did a addendum. Okay.
Right.
All right. So my channel is Alchemizing Energy, and I do interviews with like Babalawos, a lot of practitioners in Ifa. So go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No, go ahead.
Oh no, you would open. I thought you were about to say something.
No, I was reading some of the comments. Sorry, reading aloud. Go ahead.
Right. So let's get into the comments. Is there? I also I'm not.
Well,
I don't.
you can put a link in the chat room so people can call in.
Right. I don't have the. See, if I put the link in my chat room, they're not gonna see it. So
Oh,
you
you're
have
not?
to put the link into your chat room. So I'm gonna put it in mine.
Hold on, let me see.
I would love to bring people up.
Yeah, I don't think I can. Hold on.
No, you can. Oh, you know what? Maybe I'll go to your page and put it in there.
Yeah, I can't do it.
Right.
Oh, there you go. Guys, there's a link right there. Maybe they could click on it.
They can't see it. It's on my. It's gonna only show in mine. So I'll like go onto yours and share it. Search for. But really, really, when I put this together, it was not. I was mainly trying to, I've been following Prince Amir for a long time, and I was, I still want to go to go on one of those tours with you and see parts of. I want to. You just did the thing in Tanzania, which I thought was awesome. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I think what you're doing is awesome. So
thank you. Guys, links in the chat room. If you want to call in, you can click on the link.
I think I just put it in there.
Yeah. Hope I wonder if right. So I wonder, do me a favor. Send the link, put it in my Instagram, and I'll post it on my end and see if they'll. Yeah, send the link, post it on my Instagram.
Okay. I
can just copy and paste it. Hold on 1 second.
I just sent to your Instagram just now. Anyone that wants to come up, please do.
Okay, guys, the link in the chat now. Yeah, I think the link's in the chat.
It wouldn't let me add.
No, I just copied and pasted the link. Copy and pasted the link from when you posted it.
Yeah. Okay. If anyone wants to come up and make a statement or say anything, please do come up. So let's talk about So how was your trip this recent trip to Tanzania?
It was great. Enjoyed the beaches, ate good food, enjoyed the water. It was great.
Yeah, it looked like it was awesome, like a fun time. I was like, man, I wish I could have came. You know what I'm saying?
Great. Oh, we had a great time. So we're going to Sierra Leone in this month, and then in January we're going to the Voodoo Festival. Oh,
you're doing the Voodoo Festival, okay?
January 5th to the 12th. Shout out to AJ Ninja in the house.
All right, so this is Prince Amir.
Yeah. So that's the food. I made sure my people ate good. So we was eating octopus and calamari and shrimps and lobsters, and yeah, we had a great time.
It was beautiful. Looks like it was fun. Yeah. That was like some food that was up. Anyone want to come up, y'all? That looked good. I don't know what that was. That looked really delicious right there. So, I mean, he's been doing work for a long time, guys, and so, I mean, I really wanted to give him some time on my channel to really discuss what he's doing. And, that's the main thing, so does anybody want to come up? Nobody? Get your people to come up. Come on.
I put the link in the channel. I can't force them to come up. But
they've been up there talking all that mess. Why she saying this and why she asking that?
Guys, and also too, when it comes to the traditions, guys, I'm still learning as well. I just want to make sure I didn't, put any misinformation out there. Don't judge me if I said something wrong. But I'm still learning as well.
I'm gonna say this is that I've been on a journey myself, so even what I say is don't take it 100%. This is based on what I've been finding out, as I've been initiated, so but I do want to go to Africa and actually get a firsthand experience,
That's the best thing to do. You have to come to Africa the firsthand experience.
Yeah, I've been, like I said, I've been in South Africa, but it's another thing to probably go to Nigeria and really see.
Yeah, well, the traditions in Nigeria. So.
All right, so someone says,
especially if you're into Ifa, you have to go to Nigeria.
Right, it would make sense, right?
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, you have to go to Nigeria.
And the argument I've been having, because I've been, like I said, if you see my videos on my channel, I've been talking to a lot of Hebrew Israelites, and like I said, there's like I said.
Hold on, one second, Mystic Dime, invite me. You don't see me. I don't get no invitations. I don't see any invitations. I haven't got one. Invite me. I promise you, I am the most easiest person to get in contact with. Hey, Dynast, we got an event here. There, you want to come? Absolutely. So Missy Dime, you go hit me up, invite me, I'll come.
You need to come on up, Mr. Diamond, and talk about, what you guys got going on, what's happening in Atlanta. People are in Atlanta right now, so come on up and tell us about what's going on in Atlanta from with the tradition. Wait, it's Star straight. Okay. So let's see. The Africans waged war against the Negroes, sent us to the slave coast after we lost the wars against Askia. And
I don't know what he's talking about. Yeah, I don't know. Race war.
It's interesting people in
I don't know what he's talking
about. Some of the people are kind of like going hard. It's like, hey, Mystic Dime, how are you doing?
Hello, good afternoon. How are you all doing? Hi. So I'm sorry. I'm in the middle of doing something, so I can't stay long. I'm so sorry. But
okay. Don't apologize.
Okay. But Dynast, of course, like there's so many events, in the Atlanta area,
invitations.
Well, usually the biggest Elay or community we have in the Atlanta area at large is, with the house that works with Yeye's Botanica, which is very popular in Atlanta.
I don't know nothing about it.
Okay. Well, that's the most popular one. There are, as you know, a lot of babalawos in the Atlanta area. They all have their own houses. They usually, come together. Oftentimes they have their own Oshun festival here in Atlanta. Very popular.
I'm usually in the Oshun festival in Nigeria. Is it the same date? Is it the same, like, well, yeah, but Oshun festival is always the second Friday of August. Yeah, I'm always in Nigeria.
Yeah, well, it's a beautiful expression here in Atlanta too. So I mean, but they have a Goon Festival. They have, we have there are different ancestor rituals and ceremonies that they have. So they're always having something. They have a meetup, that I've signed up with, and I'm always getting reminders for things. So I'll definitely share that, and when local people tell me and I'm going to something, I'll definitely forward that to you as well. So yeah, I just wanted to share that and let you know that it's, we're here. Hey,
Okay. Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm down.
I keep trying to share that link so people can come up, but
yeah, I put it in the chat room.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely check out Yeye's Botanica.
Where is it?
They have 2 locations. They have expanded, so they have one that's on Campbellton Road.
Okay.
Southwest Atlanta kind of area still. Then they have one that's on the east side. I believe that's Covington Highway. But it's, in the city, still in the perimeter. So
okay.
Yeah. So those 2 locations always having something huge, popular. People are always learning and growing. This is the good foundation, usually the good entry point into these traditions, at least in the Atlanta area, has been my experience and the experience of so many people. They have programs like Sisters Mood, Moods and Magic, run by Amisaro, wonderful sister. You can grow and learn so much in that. It's just they have so many different things. So, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, listen, before you leave, Mrs. Dime, are you aware of the Oyatunji village in South Carolina? Have you been there?
Yes, so I'm familiar with it. I have not had the opportunity to go and visit. Many of my classmates, however, from undergrad have all gone out there to visit and explore that village and that community, but I haven't yet. So I hope to in the future one day.
Well, you know what? They were doing some really powerful things with the United Nations. They were also joining in with the kings in Africa. I have a picture. I actually did an interview with the chief of Oyatunji. He has a very long name, but I did an interview with him, and he showed me pictures of, them with the kings in Africa, that they would go and pour libations at the United Nations, and they were, bringing up different subjects and like actually working with the United Nations to get funding before the king had passed on. So, I think that we need to like also look into that when it comes down to the United Nations. You know what I'm saying? The fact that by him having his own sovereign land in America and being a king, then that opened him up to being able to like try to go to the United Nations and do different things.
It wasn't sovereign.
It wasn't sovereign?
No. Unless there's some treaty you have with the United States of America I don't know about, but I doubt it was sovereign.
I think he said that they were under a livery, some kind of land, something. I don't know. There's a name for it. You know what? I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna actually play what they said it was, but it was a name for the actual land that they actually.
Yeah, I don't know. I could be wrong, but I strongly doubt it was sovereign.
So I wonder why they would. That's okay. So okay, well, listen, I can be corrected if I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. You know, I was just going off what he had said, and from what he made it seem like it was a sovereign land, and they had some kind of a land, some kind of a lease, a land lease that allowed it to be almost okay. You know what it was? It was similar to. It was similar to how the Catholic Church. You understand? You know what I mean? So if you go into a Catholic church, you cannot arrest a person inside the church.
Well, I want to say the sister, did she get arrested on the property? Did she turn herself in?
Did she get arrested? I don't know. That's a good question.
No, I don't know. But yeah, it's not sovereign though.
Right. So let me I'll just just for reference, I'll show you when I did do the interview with Ifa Kunli sovereign.
Oh, I'm going to click off. Bye. So you all have a good evening. I'm sorry, I have to run.
Okay. So
Okay.
We'll play this real quick. Oh well. Can you hear that? What I'm playing?
No.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
And so part of what that is showing you the relationship to this corporation, because the United States government or the United States of America is a governmental, it is a corporation. It is not a state. So each person belongs to state. So there's a real complicated situation. I'm not sure you want to go too deep into that, but there is a
No, a lot of people talk about, oh, well, I want to get my own land. We should get our own land. And I'm like, whoa, this guy actually had his own land and actually was separate from the United States. Because a lot of times people will talk people out of it and say, no, you can't get your own land. You can't have land within another nation. And he did it. So I just think it's amazing that he was able to do that. So, we don't have to get all deep into it, but we can probably have another conversation where we talk about land and things like that another time. But
it's called a loyal title. So for those who are interested in trying to understand, I can give you a sense of a direction to go, and is developing a loyal title, which is a pure title. You realize that if you pay taxes on land, then you don't own land, because if you own the land, then you wouldn't pay taxes on it. You have the right to bear and to own property, right? And so the same thing goes on with driver's license, same things will go on getting a marriage certificate. All of these things that you pay for then put you in a place in which you are under the jurisdiction and under the structure of the United States Corporation. And if you move in with outside of that corporation, then you can declare yourself as sovereign. And so you have to make a declaration, and you have to take those instruments in which you've paid for, and then declare your sense of sovereignty, really, and really statehood, because each one of us are born to that particular state. Long conversation, not really so much. Whole
no, but I think that just to touch on it is something, just to know that this village was a sovereign place.
It still is.
It still is.
Well, a loyal title doesn't make you sovereign.
It's okay. So maybe I didn't know what I was.
Yeah, loyal title doesn't mean you're sovereign.
Huh. Interesting. So what is the loyal? What do you? Let me look it up. I don't know what a loyal title. I was just going by what he said. You know what I'm saying? He was talking about sovereignty and then a loyal title, and that's the reason why they had the land that was supposedly sovereign. Because when you actually go into Oyotunji, it says you're entering sovereign land.
Yeah, no. I mean, unless they have a treaty. I mean, only people I know with sovereign land are, civilized tribes. You're part of the civilized tribes that.
I think that's what they were saying. It was similar to having a tribe in like a tribe.
A lodial title doesn't make you sovereign.
Well, okay, so.
But I mean, I could be wrong. But I just, I don't want people. The thing I don't want is people to go out there and start trying to get a lodial title and talk about they sovereign. They can just do what they want in their land, and the government and the police force can't intervene and nothing can happen. And because something similar happened in here in Georgia with Dr. York. They were on that, hey, it's sovereign land, and of course when Dr. York went down, it just didn't work out that way. So
wow, okay.
Yeah. And I want to be very careful. But a lodial title doesn't mean that you have sovereign land.
Okay. So so there was like a section where he talked about it. I'm gonna let him finish what he said. And
hey Jay, this shirt is from what's the name of this company? Man, hold on.
Go ahead.
Somebody said they like my shirt. Man, what's the name of the company? Hold on.
And anyone can come up if they want to. The link's in the chat, you guys. While he's looking at that, I'm going to go ahead and finish what he was saying.
Man, what's the name? Come on, Don. What's the name of the company? I know the owner's name is Namdi, but hold on. Guys, give me a second. Let me
go ahead.
Sure. Here we go.
It's its own entity. It's its own country.
That's
now,
one second. It's personal
I've heard
advice.
a lot of times that you guys were getting a lot of.
Let me put this link in the chat room, guys. So the shirt is from Personal Advisory. There we go. Personal Advisory. There we go. That's where I got the shirt from.
Who is that on the shirt?
Patrice Lumumba.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. That's sweet. So okay, so with this land thing, there's like a lot of like things being kind of like, so we have to be very careful when it comes down to land and what people are trying to say about land. So let me show you the rest of what he said, and maybe you can like expound upon it.
Okay.
Okay. Here we go. Oh crap! I lost it. Here we go. Was it like, did they still have jurisdiction?
So, one of the things that just in terms of the FBI and really the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, is investigating. They have tabs on it. They're going to be viewing this YouTube. They keep trying certain words come up.
I'm sorry. Your phone is breaking up.
Okay. I'm saying that there's a sense of keywords that will set off. So whether it's the FBI, whether it's any investigating type of organization that are trying to infiltrate and to be able to the instabilities that go on in any type of sovereign type of land or really around the world. And so FBI, of course, CIA, and all of these different agencies are government independent organizations which are not under the United States Corporation. They're independent organizations and they have their own budgets. So
oh wow,
really need to really have a sense of who and what they are. The same way the courts, most of the courts of the land are not anything but administrative, and so we have to really start to have a sense of what. Well,
right, okay. So now let's get into it. So we lost the Oba. We lost our. Okay, someone just came up. All right, come on up. Hello, Ola. Nice to meet you. Welcome to the chat.
Yeah, thank you.
Did you want to talk about this?
I've been listening to some of your when you were interviewing Dynast about if Africans ever been to United States before the slavery.
Yes.
Okay. What do you think yourself?
I believe that they did. I don't think that we were like handicapped. I think that we had ships that could come over here. I mean, why would we
No.
think that we were lesser than the other people that could make it over here? Why do we think that only they could like make seafaring ships?
Uh, most sub-Saharan Africans are not good in the sea. First of all, they didn't build such a huge boat to able to fly along that huge wave of water in the Atlantic Ocean. Africans are not really huge boat. You can say maybe they fish or something like that, a little boat. So let's say by the time they will come over, let's say they come over, okay, let's say you say they come over 30 something, right? So Africans are not really water people. You see, the descendants of those water people, you can see in them, the Dutch, the Scandinavians. You can see up to today the type of ships that they are building. You are just like your ancestors. If you go to country called Netherlands, you can see there are huge ships, very huge ones, just for fishing alone, and because they already get used to some of all these things, the Portuguese did it, the Africans not at all. You can see they pass through the desert because some of them are desert men, maybe to Egypt, where some of them converted to be Muslims and everything. You understand? So Africa might be used to the desert because some of those empires were growing up in the desert, like the Songhai Empire, and some of those empires that the Ghana Empire, which is part of the Songhai Empire, not this Ghana, present Ghana. So Africans have nothing to do in South America. The blacks you see in South America, in United States, let's say Caribbeans and United States, this Africa that just been brought recently, which is about 400 plus years ago. That is not long, So there's no African that come to United States. Okay, you can say the Africans that came over there maybe have some mixture with the Native Americans. Yeah, it's happened because when you grew up for a very long time, some mixing started taking place. But there's no single Africans that travel to or be on the boat or Masa Musa. Masa Musa never really traveled by the sea. He just, I think, by the land, by us.
Right. They were saying it's his brother, Abu Bukhari. The story is that his brother left his throne to sail the seas and he ended up in present-day Honduras. But again, that's the story.
Yeah,
there's no archaeological proof that happened.
After that, but if you ever, the Akans are very ruthless people.
The who?
The Akans, what I mean, the then Akans, the Native American, I think they call it the Akans. You understand? Okay. The Native Americans that spread all the way from Mexico to those Honduras down to all those territories and everything.
Aztecs?
I think I forget the name they called it. These are human sacrifice people, They were brutal. I don't think any single Africans will dare take that big boat on that sea. That sea is huge. And this little fishing boat they have to cross maybe their little territories. Especially I'm talking about the Mali Empire, whatever those Mali set of people which spring out of that, break out of the Songhai Empire. They are like horse people. People who fought on horse, moved by horse by the desert there. It doesn't mean that they have never seen the Mediterranean Sea and other things, but they didn't have the ability, which at that time the water was far more rough what you're seeing now. You understand me? Because if people that believe in climate change was not actually less than at that time. So the waves and those, even big boats were even collapsing. Up to today, big boats are still falling apart. So I don't think any single, I call it sub-Sahara, which is, I just use the word sub-Sahara to generalize the dark skin looking, Africans, you understand me? So they would not try that because if they would have done that, I think they would have come across the natives, and the native would have get used to them already when they start bringing them in that 60-something, 70-something by the Spanish, the French, and the Dutch. And you have to start, even the native that you have to get used to them by learning them, seeing their suffering, because what really communicates the native and the blacks together is a shared brutality that they experience, some of this Portuguese and the Spanish and that's actually it's just friendship of pain. They have to bear the pain together. They have to fight together. But say they ever see the black man? Hey, no, black men don't really go to that side. So but that doesn't mean that through the sense of being with people that some Black America don't have native they have, because of they be together for a long time around that territory. Mystery will surely take place. If white people can do it, the Indians can also do it. Modern world today, people are missing. So I'm even surprised that some Black America, for all those share of history, taking them out of their territory, there's no neighboring countries and everything, that some of them still have 80%, 70-something% Africans in them. By me to say the blacks were still able to hold on to themselves together than what you see in this modern time.
So one thing I want to say is what you just said about like the Aztecs killing people and whatever that is, human sacrifice. They also said there was human sacrifice in Africa, in West Africa, especially, and in Yoruba tradition. So you can't like.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. What I'm talking about is the human sacrifice in Africa. Sometime, which actually it happened. You understand? I'm from the territory whereby I had that. It happened in that place where the British even came over there. I'm from Edo State. I had that even happen at that time.
They're asking for the link, Dynast. I can't put the link.
Oh no, let me. I'll put it there. Give me a second.
Yeah, I keep trying to put it on there, but it's not showing it. So, but so you're saying that human sacrifice didn't start until the Europeans came to South Africa?
No. When I mean they were it's true that human sacrifice might be taking place in West Africa, especially that zone called Nigeria today. Yes, because the Europeans, when the British came over there, they said they met human hairs on the trees, but one thing we don't know about is, who are these human hairs? Are they catch-up soldiers? Are they criminals they want to death with? Or are they internal sacrifice to their gods for, we don't really know, you understand? But did it happen? Oh yes, it happened. There ain't nobody going to deny it, you understand me? Because at that time, putting people's neck under the knife is very easy for them at that time. So what I'm trying to say is, that is even black to black. How about when you meet an Indian man to black, and they're already worshiping their gods also like the Africans, to the sun, to the mountains, sacrifice for rain and everything. They will not hesitate to sacrifice a black man to the god of the rain in their side. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Friendship.
So we have like 2 new people on the panel. We have Bang and Why. When you're not talking, could you please put like your thing on mute, because there's like background, but Bang.
Background noise. Or you can mute them.
Bang,
Yeah, hello. Yeah. Hello. How y'all doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Dynast, man, I gotta tell you something, man. I never told you. I think this is my second time talking on your channel.
Mm-hmm.
You're the one that made me discover Ogun.
Okay.
Yeah, because for instance, I'm from Sierra Leone. They do like the hunting society and all that. I never.
I'm part of secret society. I'm part of secret society.
Yeah. So I never, understood that, because a lot of us, we're not taught that because we never in it. And then plus, I've been in this country for a while, since 1998. Mm-hmm. So like, I was watching your channel one day, and you were like, that's actually like a goon in Sierra Leone, but it came from Nigeria. I said, oh,
yeah. So the story of Nigeria. I'm not Nigeria, Sierra Leone. When the slave ships that were intercepted by the British, the slaves that are on those ships, they were brought to Freetown.
Yeah, exactly.
So in Freetown, you have a mixture of Yoruba, Congo, Igbo, Angola, you know, so it's all right there. So the secret society I'm part of in Freetown is Yoruba. It's a Yoruba secret society. So
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I was like, oh my God, like how like how the hell I never knew about it. But then by me doing my research and I found out about the whole thing, about the whole hunting society and what Ogun is actually. And then I was amazed. And then it was because of you.
no,
And
I
then the
appreciate
funny thing is, you being a Black American, and then me being from the continent, you knew way more than me, way more than me. And then for me to discover it, it was because of you. You know what I'm trying to say? So I got
right.
to give you a big props for that as
I appreciate
well.
it. Thank you.
Yeah, I never said it, but I had to say that. So big props to you. And then the whole thing, like the whole hunting. And then they bring the food, and then they start doing the clapping and all that, the chanting and all that. It's wow. It's wow.
Have
It's
you?
not
What's the last time you've been to Sierra Leone?
about 2 years now.
Have you ever been to like a hunting society?
No. I haven't. But like,
I went to one back in 2019, and so you can't video, but I recorded on my phone the actual drumming.
I'm telling you, man. It's like,
Man, man,
yeah, because check this out, right? Like you have blacks up here. They talking about like the cookout and all that. They playing music and stuff like that, right? Like you have some of these blacks up here. They try to play down everything, right? You can't get better than that because those guys, they go in the bush and kill their animal and then bring it and then have what I'm trying to say, a ceremony around it too as well, and then make music in it as well without no
Right.
music instruments.
When I say that music was off the chain, like I said, I was able to record the music, but I couldn't record my camera. When I say that music was off the chain, I wish. Man, I don't have
people don't know. Like people don't know. Like I was like, how you gonna compare that to like a cookout where you just play a music that come from recording studio and everything? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I just don't get that sometimes. But back to the point, right? Like
Where
to
do
the
you
other
grow
point,
up?
right?
You grew up in the bigger city in Sierra Leone?
No. I left, Sierra Leone when I was young because I came here.
But you
I
live in
came
the
here
village?
no,
think
I
if you
never
live in
did. I never did.
okay.
So the thing is, my folks came here early, so I came here super young. So I started second grade in this country. So what I'm trying to say. And then plus, I don't think I had enough time for me to like, what I'm trying to say. Yeah, for me to like understand all these things because when you appear, a lot of time, like African families, they try to keep you away from stuff like that, especially like society. Like once they bring you up here, it's something like they don't talk to you about. It just kept within themselves or people that's already initiate in their society. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like a lot of black people that's from Africa, they don't know about it. We like me, I had to do all my research. If you know what I'm trying to say. So my research led to you. And then that's how I discovered what's Ogun. Because one day I would listen to the song and then the guy was saying Ogun something like they kept on praising the Ogun. I was like, what the hell is Ogun? And then I went to your channel, you was talking about, oh, they have Ogun in Sierra Leone. So I have a friend that's Nigerian. He was Yoruba. So I asked him, I said, what's Ogun or Ogun? So I started playing the music. He said, okay, well, Ogun is a word of God. I mean, God, right? And then, so I was like, okay, well, then I played the song for him. He's like, what they doing is they worship the Ogun. I said, oh, so the whole time, the Ogun is the spiritual aspect, like when you go to like war or like hunting, and then they bring the wild animal and all that, and then they start singing and dancing. I said, oh my God, it was because of you. That's how I discovered Ogun.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
That's how I discovered Ogun. I mean, it's coming from
hold on, real
somebody
quick.
that's from the continent. You know what I'm trying to say? And then I discovered because of you.
Right, Shay, that's beautiful.
So you see, this is a true story. And then another point, right? I got to put in, right.
Wait, before you make your other point, because we do have Cosmic Chaos, and then after he makes his point, you can come back and make your other point. Welcome to the panel, Cosmic Chaos. Welcome to Alchemizing Energy.
Oh, Hold on, I thought I was calling you Uhuru.
Well,
Okay.
I'm here. I'm here. Go ahead.
Well, I would Cosmic Dynast knows me. I'm Cosmic Chaos. I would like to reply to Ola and also you, Dynast. And this idea that Africans did not make it to America is really false. There are a lot of evidences out there that shows that Africans were here. Actually, when Columbus got here, from the very mouth of the Indians or the American Indians, they said it themselves that they have been trading with the Africans. Even Columbus himself saw the American Indians who have been living with the Africans who have been living with the American Indians trading together, and they also found the steel of spears that was only uniquely made in Mali. They found it here in America.
Where in America did they find it?
They found it on the East Coast.
Where?
I don't remember the exact place, but they found it there,
Okay.
and they traced it back to Mali.
Okay.
So, and again, the idea. Let me make this point before.
I just got a question just to clear it up. So the Native Americans told Christopher Columbus that they were trading with Africans.
Yes, they were already. The Africans were already.
Okay.
Well, you know, I did. I heard Tariq Nasheed say something that even Christopher Columbus had. He said something like there was a Moor on the boat with him, and
Moor on the boat. Well, okay. Well, now were there? Is there a possibility there was a Moor on the boat with Christopher Columbus? I'm not denying that, but again, this idea that when Columbus came, he said, "Oh, there's Africans here." You know, there's just no proof of that.
Well, I think it was a book that he brought up. I wish I had the book right now. I wasn't even ready for that.
Go ahead.
But Madara, we have like Madara and Iyamami. Madara, did you have something you want to say?
Yeah, I have something to say. I mean, I've been listening to this interview today. I kind of enjoyed it. It seems like a culmination of or consolidation of all dynasties, lessons and travels and all that kind of stuff. It's just consolidating it and just speaking it out there. So I kind of like it. You understand? A culmination of what he has learned and his growth over the years. Because I've been watching Dynasty's channel over the years from a long time before he started doing live streams. So I've been enjoying it. Now, now what I gotta say is I like what he says as in maybe our gift. When I say our gifts are in the spiritual. Our hereditary I don't know how to say that word. Hereditary gifts are probably in the spiritual, and I've been trying to lean towards that way as well and trying to understand it. But obviously, some people are more advanced than others. But maybe our gift as a race is in that sphere. So I like that line that he holds there. But one thing I gotta say to Diners, throughout your travels, which country in West Africa cooks the best food ever and all that stuff?
Senegal.
Wow. Not shade. So we have a favorite, Senegal.
That's it. That's all I gotta say. Simple and capiche. That's all.
So Iyamami, you were next. What did you have?
Dynasty, you disgraced me. You disgraced me one time.
How?
That is Senegal is cooked more than Nigeria.
I'm sorry, Senegalese food is the best.
Don't let our people to hear. They will be angry.
Trust me, I've already been threatened to be kicked, to be deported to Nigeria. I've already been threatened. They know.
You be eat some Yoruba people food. You will be
Yoruba. I'm in Yoruba land all the time. I eat that goosey.
Man, if you eat some grandma food, you will be asking them, Mama, can you package this for me to travel? Because you have to eat some food that you will like. Man, forget to. Have you eaten Ogun State? If you eat some food, you will be asking them, oh, can you package this for me to travel?
Well, Mommy, you tell me when I go back to Nigeria, you tell me where to go. I'll go and get the food. You just tell me.
No problem. If you go to Abeokuta, Ake, Itoku, there are some old people who they cook organic food. They don't use machine. They use their hand to cook to melt the pepper and they'll cook natural. They don't use this kind of our pot to cook. They use mud to cook. You know that olden days smoke, they use it to cook. And that thing is very good for our body. That's why they stay longer. Most of them in my homeland in Ogun State, they stay over 90, 100 because they cook natural. They use stone to grind their pepper. They don't take their food to the machine. So, number one, you make me so angry, so sad that Nigeria don't cook. We cook. If you eat some people food, if not because you live far away, I live in Texas here. If I cook for you, my husband don't eat outside. He always come back home to eat. So we cook different. I grown up with the old people, so I cook like the olden people. So I don't cook like I cook natural, organic food.
All right. So thank you, mommy.
Mr. Ola, I want to say something about you say Yoruba do woman sacrifice. Not any Orisha in Yoruba land do woman sacrifice. Any Osha in Yoruba land, they don't take any woman being blood. So number one, let me put it straight for each and every one that is listening. Any Orisha in Yoruba land don't take woman being blood.
So hold on. Yeah, I heard that Olokun initially was taking human blood, and then they switched to the ram because Olodumare, I guess people were
Olokun don't take woman being blood. Let me tell you, I grown up with the old people, and my father is a big chief in Egbaland in Ogun State. And I grown up with Isheshe. I'm a Christian, and they've grown up with Isheshe. Each and every one of us, we do Isheshe. They never told us that Olokun, any Orisha in Yoruba land take woman be sacrificed. Anybody who tell you that is a liar. Any Orisha who take woman be sacrifice is not from Yoruba land. Yoruba land, Orisha don't take any woman be sacrifice. It never.
So here's a question. You know what? I'm just gonna get into another question about because I heard, because this is one of the things that when I was doing my debate, they said that they kill albinos. So what do you think about that?
No, albino in Yoruba land is a very special people. So albino in Yoruba land, we call them a special woman being. Yoruba people never kill albino. They never take them for sacrifice. Anybody who tell you that they used to kill them, they are lying to you. I grown up with the old dim people. 90,
I think in Tanzania they were killing albinos.
No, maybe in Tanzania. In Yoruba land, Yoruba people don't kill albino. Yoruba people never kill a woman being for any Orisha in Yoruba land. We don't kill. Yoruba people don't kill.
So I heard that there were times where people had to stay inside for different ceremonies, and that if the people came outside, that they could be killed. So I've heard.
Yeah, that's it. They don't kill. That is Oro. There's the Oro in Yoruba land. Oro. If the Oro is when they do Ifa and they say evil is around the community, they use Oro to send the evil away. That's why they say woman should not come outside. It's only man can see. And man who can see the Oro, he have to initiate. He have to come, he have to be initiated before. So if any woman see Oro, they will not kill him. They don't kill. Only that woman will be on a sickness, and it will take a time for the woman to be well. They never, any Yoruba land God, they never take blood. I live in America here. If I wake up in the morning, I bow my head down for Eledumare. I talk what I want for Eledumare to do for me, and he will do it for me. That is include my children. I believe that Eledumare is with me. I bow my head down. I talk what I want to talk to Eledumare before I talk to anybody, and I will talk to Eledumare. I will hold my hair. I will talk to Eledami, my hair, and definitely will do it for me because I have Isheshe in my blood. I'm Yoruba, and I know what I need to do. So anybody who say, Yoruba, God take a woman being blood, that is a fake big lie. Any God in Yoruba land don't take any blood. Ogun don't take blood. Ogun take dog. If they want to do Ogun Day in Yoruba land, they kill dog to give Ogun. So dog is not ordinary dog that is a pet at home. They go into the forest. Forests have their own dog. They use that dog to do Ogun, to give Ogun.
Right. So I can't take my Chihuahua and do Ogun.
No.
So listen. I know you have a lot to say, so I want you to still stay on here and come back and say. But we have Kyle. I want to give him a chance to say something too. Thank you. Go ahead, Kyle. You're unmuted, but I can't hear you. Kyle. They're not eating dogs. He's saying sacrifice, not eating. Kyle, are you there? Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. If it's not good, let me say something. I think the misconception sometimes they have. That's what I said when they say human sacrifice. Is it the enemies they caught? No, those days they were fighting wars. Were they doing these things? Because the British said when they came, I'm from Edo State. My mother worship and my grandmother. This are local. Oloku can be, I think, God of the sun or something like that.
No, the depth of the ocean. So you already saying the wrong stuff. So why are you saying something you don't even know what you're talking about? The fact that you just said that tells me you don't even know who Olokun is. So why would you even speak?
I said Olokun.
Listen, just stop right quick. I'm gonna let Kyle say what he has.
Sorry, I'm an African. I know much about this.
I know you're
worship, okay?
Well,
you cannot cut me off like that.
Olokun is not the same. So why would you? So right off rip, you're wrong. Kyle, go ahead, and Ola, you can come after him.
All right. Hello, everybody on the panel. Hello, Dynast, and thank you for giving me some space. First of all, I would like to clarify because I'm from that region, the Great Lakes region, so I know I'm always informed on what's going, particularly in Congo, but also in Tanzania, Kenya, Burundi, Rwanda, all that region. So somebody touched here about the killings of albinos in Tanzania that happened between, it was bad vibe. It was, I think, between 2015, around that years, before 2015. So it was not like it's traditionally. No. It was, when people are swayed because of the poverty and some pastors, or it might be some traditional healer who will come in and start telling them, if you get like this particular bone on albinos, you can become a millionaire or a billionaire by doing, juju and stuff. That's when those things started to happen. But it was not like it's traditionally to some particular tribe or clan of Tanzanian to kill albinos. No. It's not like that. It was like criminal, and that's why it stopped. I'm here. If I joined, it's because I've been following Dynast for a long time, and I have questions to Dynast.
Go ahead.
I've noticed that most of the time when it's come to the issue of Rwanda and Congo, you always like some Congolese who knows me and they know that I always follow you. When I tell them about it, they're like, this guy doesn't like Congo and doesn't like Congolese. Why is that?
Whoa. No, where are they getting that from?
Sorry?
Why would they say that? Where are they getting that from?
So they get that because of most of the time you speak positively, or you have always praise to Paul Kagame. That's why, for me, I always explain them that, you know, probably he's not well informed as us, because of course he's not from that region. He doesn't know what happened there. So my question would be, would you be willing to understand or to read books? If I recommend, I'm even willing to buy you
Yeah,
book that can
absolutely. Yeah,
that
no
that
problem.
can help you understand what's really is Paul Kagame and what's happened in that region of Africa. Because for me, U.S. African America, or for all of us, I mean, African or melanated people, I always believe, like Nkrumah said, there will be no progress, or they can't be African Union without Congo. And these our brothers, although they are some type of our enemies, the Caucasian people, they know that, they know the importance of Congo in the development or the advancement of melanated people. That's why they are using, you know, all this stratagem. And Paul Kagame is the agent of Western imperialism, or Western, whatever you can call it, in that region, to stop Congo from being governed by Congolese people. So
My pushback with that would be, where's the Congolese leadership? What are they doing?
Yes, definitely. Good question. Congolese leadership, you know, the problem is that, you know, we live in the world which we are not ourselves, but, you know, as in most part of Africa, if you read a book, there is a book which you can find in any library, public library. The title of the book is Read the Lumumba Plot. And then if you have time, you can read Spies in the Congo. Then you will understand why there is a weaker leadership right now in Congo, because these powerful countries and powerful people, they don't want Congo to have a strong leadership. I'll give you an example. There was an election in 2018. Do you know that the US and all these, you know, entities, they imposed the guy who didn't win election? A lot of people don't know that, Felix Tshisekedi. Why? Because they found that he will be a weaker and obedient leader to whatever they want. And that's how he's messing up the country. Fast forward, when Lumumba was about to come, you know, to be a leader of Congo, I believe you understand and you know what happened to Lumumba. The
Right.
same thing, because they knew that with Lumumba, they will have difficulty manipulating that country. And that's why they imposed Mobutu. When Mobutu started becoming kind of not obedient to all their staff. Of course, I'm not saying that Mobutu was good or was best, but he was like in between. That's when they plotted. I believe you know that Paul Kagame was trained here in US at the Fort Leavenworth Academy in
The majority of African leaders are trained by the West.
Yes, but
whether
there is
it be in Europe or America. That's just.
But there is some particularity. There is the training like you come for studies, and there is a training like they pick you, they bring you here, and they put you in their military academy to do what? And let me tell you, one of the courses which Kagame took, it's about propaganda and manipulation. That's why a lot of people, they don't really understand. They don't know what is going on in Rwanda, and they don't know the evil of Rwanda. I'll give you an example in that. Do you know what is going on right now in
brother, your country is bigger than Rwanda.
Yes.
This is just your country is bigger than Rwanda. Your population is bigger than Rwanda.
Definitely.
I cannot say smaller Rwanda. If you people have your heirs together, you see, one thing about these Francophone people, you put so absorb into to be French first. That what destroy, and that what is the problem with before the French Francophone started realizing who they are, it just getting too late sometimes. So you know, Congo is just like a mess. You know, they did gather themselves together. A smaller country like Rwanda coming to overthrow, attacking them.
Can I answer that? Can I answer that, please? It's not it's not Rwanda.
We're talking about voodoo, not about politics.
You know, it's all it's got all involved. You know that some physical manifestation come from spiritual, you know, things as well. Yes, it's not only about voodoo. Let me answer your question. Rwanda, if it was only Rwanda and Uganda by itself, they could never overthrow, or they could never put Congo in this situation. Rwanda, Uganda. There is a book I recommend you. I will buy this book, or I'll send it to Dynast. Holocaust in Congo. No, The International Community Omerta. Look for that book online. I'm willing to, to help you get it. You'll understand that it's the United States and the like United States, Great Britain, Australia to some extent, and Canada that engineered all this mess in Congo since the 1994. Actually, if you read another book, In Praise of Blood, The Crimes of the Rwandan Patriotic Front, it was written by one of the great investigative journalists right now. Actually, even the genocide in Rwanda was like a stepping stone.
My brother, when they talk about juju, voodoo, Congo politics will never end. It's too long.
I took my time to talk about it because I realized that Dynast is not well informed on that, and a lot of people are not informed. So when my time is off, you can continue voodoo. I'll intervene as well on that. It's not only about voodoo. So Dynast, please give me. I don't know how I can get your details.
Just email. I'll put my email in the chat. Just shoot me an email. My email. I'll put my email in the chat right now.
Thank you, Umkal. Thank you for that. So was it Ola and then Mami wanted to finish what she had to say. Bang, do you have something?
Yeah, then I have to go in about 20 minutes. So just
okay. So we'll have like some final words real quick, and then we'll slow it down.
So I was saying Oloku, because I'm from an area whereby they worship Oloku, Ogun. I grew up with my grandmother worshiping these gods. They wear white and white. They have they dance with the drums. I think I don't know, some of them they pray to the what we call the god of the sun. I think Oloku might be the god of the sea. You understand? It might be Mami water, but they also pray to the god of the sun also called Oleme. You understand me? Orisha, that's what I don't know nothing about, because where I'm from, they don't really mention Orisha. They're real like that.
Are you Yoruba? Where are you?
I'm in Edo State.
He's Edo.
Edo. Edo and Yoruba share some similar type of religion. But the Orisha part of it, which I don't know nothing about, but the Ogun part of it, Ogun protect the community. It's not just it's not something you cannot really come. If you swear with Ogun and you did something wrong, you did admit you did the thing wrong, and they have to swear with that something. It's a very dangerous God. They have to always cool him down always. They have to always cool him down. You can refer Ogun almost to the god of thunder. It's something that you must have to always cool down. It protects. It just protects the community.
Like almost like the police. He's like the police of the community.
Yeah, it's a violent God. You must have to cool him down by giving him all kind of prayers, like that lady said, killing dog, giving some this Hennessy, the local gene of Africans. And
so what is your religion, Ola?
I'm not really. I can't call myself Christian because my ancestors did worship that God until the white man came over there. There was nothing like Christianity in Africa, in West Africa, before the white man came. This white man that came.
Christianity did not exist before the white man came.
The region I'm from.
So would you say that the Africans that were actually brought from America, when
they don't know nothing about Jesus Christ?
They did not know about Jesus Christ
at all. The Jesus Christ was being brought.
Did they know about Moses?
No.
I beg to differ there. I beg to differ.
No, hold on. There's nothing like my grandfather being introduced to who was worshiping what called Osun and worshiping all these gods of the god of the iron called Ogun is god of iron anyway.
So the main thing I'm trying to understand. So even when I brought the prince,
they don't know nothing about Jesus Christ. They don't know nothing about Moses.
So I was trying to understand, because here's the thing.
These are people.
Hold on. Let me explain. The narrative in America is that we came from either Israel or Arab, and then not we, but that people migrated from Mecca or from Israel or from Egypt into Ife, and then came to America. The only thing is that, so if that's the case, then how does Ifa come into play in this situation? Now you have some people that say that Ifa in Arabia was the mystical system in Arabia, and that there was a connection between Israel and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
So the thing I was really trying to get to the bottom of is to find out if this was true or not. Now I'm finding out.
They're not like God. They're not like Jesus Christ. The Igbos worship the earth, which is big trees, and the earth
Right.
for good festival, for good yam and everything. In West Africa, I'm talking about Nigeria now, which is generally the whole of West Africa anyway. They're not like Jesus Christ. They're not like Moses. They're not like Abraham. The only thing they know how to worship is to worship these are gods for fertility, to bring rain, for good crops to grow, and pray for the earth to be calm and happiness and good luck.
So now let me just say,
can I intervene there? Can I intervene in
hold
there?
on. Well, okay, I'll let you come after Iya Mami because Iya has Iya in her name, so that I believe that she might be initiated, right? Iya, am I right or wrong? Iya?
I'm not initiating, only that I've grown up with people. My father is initiating to the Ogbonis, and I've grown up with them, and I entered the Igbale with them. So
is
I
know is correct, or is there like some context missing? Yes or no?
Like what?
There is some context missing,
What
I
he
believe.
just said, is there something missing in what he's saying? He's saying they just worship the earth. They just did rain
We
there.
have from the beginning of Yoruba, from beginning of Nigeria, we have each region. Yoruba have their own god. Igbo have their own god. Only that what I know, I know my own god. We worship so many. We all our gods in Yoruba. Each family have their own god. Oya, we worship God of water in my family. Oshun, we have everything. So every family in Yoruba land have their own god. My husband family have their own god. Each family in Yoruba have their own god. So anybody who say
was there a main? So did they all worship Olodumare, or did they only worship?
We all worship Eledumare because Eledumare is the god of creation. So we believe in Eledumare. Because
all of these, whether it be from one place to another, all worship Olodumare, but then there were other gods within that they would or Orisha within that. Ola, okay, so Ola, what were you going to say now, Ola?
I don't know much about Olodumare but I know about Osun. Because my grandfather's worship Osun. My grandmother was worshiping Olokun. That is mostly for women. God, you understand? Women worship these things. You see that with a very long white something like that. You know, the Yoruba have
the same thing, Mr. Man. Olokun, America, Black America call Oshun Olokun. Our Yoruba people we call her Oshun. Awedeme Oshun Alagbo. Black America call them Olokun. We Yoruba call them Oshun Awedeme.
I'm sorry. Are you speaking in English? I'm sorry.
No, because I'm saying that Black America call Oshun Olokun.
No, they don't. Nope.
No, they call them Olokun. We Yoruba.
No, Olokun. Okay, let me explain what we understand. Oshun is the goddess of the rivers and fresh water. Olokun is the Orisha of the depths of the sea. Yamaya is the top of the sea. So Olokun is like almost the first graveyard that existed, and like we're like the bottom, the darkness of the ocean. You know, that is what we understand what Olokun is. The depth of the ocean.
Let me tell you one thing. What I understand, because we worship where I come from the beginning of my life.
Right. Okay? So is Olokun
we call it Oshun, 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 and Olokun are the same thing. Oshun and Olokun are the same thing. Oshun, Oman Lomo, he gives keys, he gives life. If you're looking for a child, you go to Oshun, he will give you. Olokun is the mother in the ocean. It's the same thing.
She's
Right,
right.
because rivers flow into the ocean. We understand the
Oh,
connection.
She's
it's
right.
the same thing to us. Like
Right,
Oguna.
right. Okay, so you're saying that there's a connection between the rivers and the ocean. However, what we understood is that
If a local give you a child, don't allow that child to be coming close to the sea. That's just the truth. If a local give you a child, if you pray for a child through a local or this Osun, make sure before that child ever go near to the water, they have to do some sacrifice there first.
They have to do some sacrifice.
Because
the mother has to know. The mother have to tell the child that anytime you want to go to the near of the sea, you have to let me know. Because they have to do the sacrifice
to make sure that nothing happens to that child while they're close to the ocein. Okay.
Yeah, so the local will not take it back.
Right, Ashe. So listen, Bang, do you have something you want to say? Because Iya spoke, Omkao spoke, Ola spoke.
Yeah, I would like to add something there on.
Yeah, hold on, 1 second. 1 second. It's gonna be quick.
And then after that, we're going to because I know Prince has to go. So
yeah.
This is where we went longer. I normally only go 2 hours, so we're almost 2:15 in.
It's gonna quick.
Go ahead.
Every ethnic people in Africa has their own god. Every single one of them. It comes from like all over Africa. I was told by Africans living in Africa because it's something that we don't talk about openly because of usually nowadays they call it like witchcraft and all that because of movies, and then history wise and stuff like that. But every African tribe has their own god, and then that's how it is for like centuries.
They are not gods.
Here is the question.
They are not gods. Okay.
So say Omkao, he
on
is
Christianity.
Edo. Hold on. So Omkao is Edo. Iya is she's from Yoruba. Ola, I'm not sure where you're from. So is Olodumare a constant across all of those things?
Yes, exactly. Something like that.
I'm from Edo State. We share similar type of God with the Yoruba people. Because we're kind of like affiliated there in a way. So we share similar type of God. And the way some of the God my sister is saying about like Oladimari, that's what I didn't know. But I know, yes, because my grandfather worshiped us. So there was nothing like Christianity until the white man came to Africa. That is after the slave trade.
That's where they rebrand. That's where they rebrand. Christianity exists.
My friend, you can talk about your territory. I'm talking about West Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, and all these areas. They're nothing like Jesus Christ.
No.
It exists.
Here's the question, though. Here's the question, the overall question. And this is what I was really trying to get down to the bottom of. Is that in all those situations, whether it be called Olodumare, Olu, or whatever that they would call it, it was one creator.
Yes,
exactly.
One God,
creator,
right? He created heaven and earth, and he gave us those Orisha to be our guardian.
And that is kind of like a constant throughout Africa in different, at least West Africa. I'm not sure.
At least West, I don't know about another country. At least West Africa, like my brother said, each family in Nigeria, we have our own God we worship.
Yep.
So
that is
true. We have our own God, and our God is our guardian. Like what I told you earlier on, if I wake up in the morning, I bend my head down, I talk to Eledumare. Not that I will carry Bible, I start praying and casting.
Here's the thing is that so in African understanding, you could talk directly to Olodumare. You don't need to do Orisha, right?
Yeah, you can talk direct to Eledumare.
Whether you get a divination or not, you could actually.
Either you get divination or not, only that you have to believe, because you have the blood, you have the blood inside of you. You can talk direct.
Ashe. So listen.
Yeah, that's why. Let me add something real quick, please. Let me add something real quick. That's why, like Africans, like say for instance, right? when like Africans say, "Oh, I'm gonna do this to you because you did this to me," right? Like Africans are more terrified of their gods. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, say for instance, like someone takes something for me, right? Or like stole all my money, right? I'm gonna go tell my God to do this to them. So like typical Africans, they are terrified of that because
Because
they
we know
know,
the God we serve.
yeah,
Because we know
because
the God we
they know it's true. It's true. Every tribe has their own God. That's what every tribe has their own God. Like typical Africans, they not even like every single one of them, they will get terrified of that. Terrified. They are scared.
Okay, so man, this is a really good panel. You know, and I know Prince has to go
Can
somewhere, and I don't want to like make it too long.
can I react 30 minutes? I mean 30 seconds.
30 seconds. That's like
Yes.
go ahead.
Yeah, like so. If you study all this the system of all of us African, of course, every tribe, as you said, have their own God. But when you go deeper in studying all these tribes, all of Africa, you'll find that it's not really the the supreme God. It's like there is all of us we believe in like in one God, but now we in our tradition and culture we don't speak to that God straight away. There is like the intermediary between us human and God. That's what now it's for every tribe there is a different. That's how it is.
All
And
right. So what Ia is saying is that in Yoruba you could talk directly to Olodumare based on your faith and your belief. Now you're saying that no, it doesn't. So we're gonna have to do a part two of this because now it's getting into confusion. You know what I'm saying?
and also Christianity existed in Africa, but not in this rebranding the way how the West and the European brought back to us. No, it was
Mr. Man, let me tell you, as a
it's
Yoruba,
sometimes.
and I have blood of Yoruba, I can talk to my God.
Yeah.
I have the divination to talk to my God. I can wake up early in the morning, bow down for Eledumare and tell Eledumare what I want. I've been doing it for so many years, and I thank God for Eledumare. It's been answering my prayer.
That the
I've
creator.
been run. Let me tell you, I come from a Christian home. They brought us up both tradition and Christianity. So
Good
we
for
have
you.
to know when we go to church, we come back, we do our worship we worship our water. Every year we go to our stream, we do the worshiping for the water. People come from diaspora here to Nigeria, to my village, we do it. We are not ashamed of it. And on Sunday,
So
we
what you're
carry our
saying
Bible and
is
go
that
to church.
okay? So let's sum this up because I know that Prince has
My
to go.
father, my father was the first. My
Listen.
father was the
So,
first person.
thank you.
My father was the first person that been introduced to Christianity by going to the school. There's a reader called China Achebe who said when the white man came, he asked, "Close your eyes." The black
Give him
man,
the
the
Bible.
black man opened his the black man closed his eyes. By the time the black man opened his eyes, the white man have already given him the Bible, and the white man got the land.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they didn't know nothing about Christianity. They know nothing about Jesus Christ. The name Jesus Christ was never in their memory. It was after the colonization, after this, during the slave trade, after the slave trade, to colonize them, they have to come with that Bible.
Yeah.
Then through that Bible, they were coming with a hospital, coming with schools, because these good things.
Yes. So before all this, we already had priests that were our healers. We had
That's what I'm trying to say.
Our grandfather lived long.
Yeah,
When
I can recommend one book. I can
when they
recommend one book.
worship our God.
The African Origin of Christianity. If anybody want to know that Christianity exists and how it existed, not in this way how European brought to us, read that book.
Christianity, they're not like Christianity. Christianity is a Jewish religion. It was never called Christianity. The Jewish people formed Christianity, which is Peter and Paul.
Right.
And then,
so listen. We're gonna have to do a part two because Prince has to go. Okay, and I'm trying to respect his time.
Shout out to Ghana, Mama. Thank you, sister. Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.
You're welcome.
So I've been trying to like get control of everybody, but listen, Prince, this turned out to be a very, very interesting conversation. You know, I think that it's much needed. We probably need to do a part two. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah. I'm down. Let me know.
Right. So thank you so much for being a part of Alchemizing Energy podcast. Thank you for the chat. Thank you for everybody that was involved. What is your final words? What do you want to say before we end?
hey, thank you for having me. And until next time, guys, make sure you visit Africa. Come join me on an experience in Africa. And once again, thank you for having me. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. And we'll be going live tomorrow. And then on Tuesday, we'll definitely be going live for the election coverage on my channel. Search for Uhuru.
And listen, for me, I'm Alchemizing Energy. If you check out my YouTube channel, at Alchemizing Energy, I do focus on like religious topics like this because I'm really trying to. And he has his search for Uhuru. I got my search for the truth, that I'm trying to find. So I think that this is a great collaboration that we just did. You know what I'm saying? Cam wrong, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna pass. We good. But there's plenty of people that said they love what we did today, and I'm very appreciative of the chat and very appreciative of everything that happened today. Shouts out to Dynast Amir and Searching for Uhuru. Peace out and good night.
All right, peace.
Alchemize your energy. Darling, let your spirit be free. Don't give up. Keep on pushing through. Now is the time. It's all up to you. Alchemize your energy. My friend, let your spirit be free. Don't give up. Keep on pushing through. Now is the time. It's all up to you. No matter the storm, but over tragedy. No matter the storm, but over tragedy. No matter the storm, we will always take flight. Keep on pushing through the darkness of night. There's no limit, let's reach for the sky. Shine so bright from darkness to light.